During the second session, after all recordings were done and our personal evaluations had been determined, we continued with the listening test.
All recordings were encrypted with an 8-digit code so that none of us knew what microphones we were listening to. When listening to the recordings, we used an average line monitor called the Behringer Eurolive B215D. The monitor was once again fed from our computer, this time using ADAT protocol, as last time, to our mixing desk Yamaha 01V. This time just reversing the chain. No plugins, effects, or equalizations, nor any compression was added. Just plain simple signal. Once again, the DA conversion took place in our mixing desk, as it would in a live situation.
First, we listened to all 10 recordings of one of the 6 singers. And also, every singer graded each individual recording in 5 different categories: detail, response, STP sounds, hand leakage, and overall impression. And then we calculated each singer's average score for each recording. The name of each microphone was written on a separate card. After listening to all recordings with one singer, we sorted out the cards along an x-axis on the table based on our average scores. Thus, we sorted out the cards reflecting how well each microphone was judged to perform in relation to the others. Then we moved on to the recordings of the next singer, meaning that all in all we listened to 60 different recordings.
Through this procedure, we finally had 10 microphones lined up and graded in 5 categories for 6 different singers. Thereby, we were able to tell which microphones that received the best average score among the whole group. Of course, the most exciting moment was when we decoded the data to find out the names of the graded microphones.
So, how did it go? Which microphone was the winner of the Avocalypse live microphone shootout? Our first soprano, Linnea, had chosen the Röde S1 as a favorite microphone after the subjective test. After decoding the microphone codes, we found the Röde S1 to be in 3rd place with 3.96 points. It mostly had a clear sound and no hand leakage. It handled STP sounds okay, although sometimes with harsh S sounds. The silver medal went to the Neumann KMS105 with 4 points. It was just a little bit clearer than the Röde microphone, but it also had the same small issues with S sounds as the Röde. Both were really good for Linnea's voice. So what about the gold medal? Well, we were all really surprised to find out that the best microphone was the industry standard Shure SM58 with 4.33 points. The detail was really good on our soprano's voice, and there were no problems with the S sounds, neither was there any hand leakage. Sara, our second soprano, had chosen the Neumann KMS105 as a favorite microphone after the first session. However, after the listening test, the Neumann turned out to be in 3rd place with 4.18 points, just before the Audio Technica 2010 and the Electro Voice RE410. The silver medal went to the Röde S1 at 4.23 points, and the gold medal surprisingly went to the cheapest condenser microphone in this test, the Röde M2 at 4.31 points. The Neumann and the Röde S1 had the highest scores regarding sound detail, but the Röde M2 provided the best all-round performance for Sarah's voice and thus was judged to be number 1 after the listening test. Our alto, Annie, had also chosen the Neumann KMS105 as her favorite microphone after session 1. However, that microphone wasn't even among the best 3 after the listening test. Instead, we found the Audio Technica 2010 in 3rd place with 4.25 points, followed by the silver medalist Electro Voice RE410 at 4.49 points. The gold medal went to the Röde S1 at 4.64 points. The Röde S1 had slightly better detail and response than the others, which finally gave it the best score in the listening test. Niklas, our first tenor, had chosen the Neumann KMS105 as his absolute favorite after the first session. The bronze medal went to the Audio Technica 2010 at 4.17 points, just before the Röde S1. The silver medal went to the Röde M2, a microphone which once again surprised us with how well it performed considering its low price. The Röde M2 received 4.23 points. The winner turned out to be the Neumann KMS105 at 4.33 points. The detail was equally good between all three microphones, but the Neumann KMS105 was superior when it came to handling STP sounds, and also at dampening hand leakage, thus providing the clearest sound for our first tenor's voice. Our second tenor, Per-Åke, had chosen both the Röde S1 and the Neumann KMS105 to be the best microphones after the first session. The listening test pointed in the same direction. Two microphones were awarded the silver medal at 4.43 points, and they were both Röde microphones. This means that the Röde S1 and the Röde M2 were judged to provide equal quality, which is surprising since the S1 costs more than twice as much as the M2. The winner turned out to be the Neumann KMS105 at 4.48 points. Once again, the three top microphones were almost equally good regarding detail and response, but the Neumann mic was the best at handling STP sounds and dampening hand leakage, as for our first tenor, thus giving the microphone the highest score. Finally, my own voice was judged through 10 coded microphone recordings. I too had chosen the Neumann KMS105 as my favorite after the first session, but that one did not turn out to be among the top 3 for my voice in the listening test. Instead, after decoding our microphones, we once again found the Röde microphones to perform very well. The Röde S1 received the bronze medal at 4.14 points, and the Röde M2 received the silver medal at 4.21 points. The gold medal went to the Electro RE410 at 4.35 points. The Electro RE410 was superior to all other microphones regarding detail, which is not surprising since it is famous for its bass sound. The Electro also had the best response for my voice and was clearly the winner after the listening test. No microphone stood a chance against our reference microphone, which was the Röde NTK tube microphone. The reference microphone had an average score of 4.84 points after the second session, mostly because of its detail and sound resolution. We also found the same 3 microphones among the top choices for each singer, and they were the Röde S1, the Electro RE410, and the Neumann KMS105. We were most disappointed with the results of the Sennheiser microphones all through the listening test. They were often too dull and outperformed by the other microphones. However, it should be noted that we did not test any wireless microphones in this shootout. After session 1, the subjective test, and session 2, the listening test, we have now judged a total of 9 aspects of each microphone. The feeling of holding and handling the microphone, the feeling of singing in the microphone, the build quality of the microphone, how the microphone affects intonation, microphone detail, microphone response, STP sound rejection, hand leakage, and overall impression. In addition, we also had our results from the feedback rejection test, which was carried out prior to the shootout. So, the moment of truth. Let's see how the microphones ended up for each singer after adding all scores together. And there you have it, the winners of the Avocalypse live microphone shootout, and the microphones we finally decided to buy are the Electro RE410 and the Neumann KMS105.
While some other microphones might have been slightly better match for a few individual singers, these two microphones received high average scores for every singer, thus proving to be the best choice for the group.
The Electro and the Neumann mics were tied for the highest score, but while the Neumann KMS105 suited our tenors and our soprano really well, the Electro RE410 was the perfect choice for our alto and also for my voice as a bass singer.
Now, we really have to say that our first choice after the test was actually another microphone, the Röde S1, which received slightly higher scores. However, after having received one broken malfunctioning microphone after the other from this brand, we totally lost confidence in its reliability and decided to go with Electro and the Neumann mics instead. After all, it was perceived by all singers to be just as good a choice, since these three microphones were the top three mics in the test.
Yeah. And we have been singing with the Electro and the Neumann ever since, and we are all very satisfied. Not only do they give great representation of our voices, microphones like these make you feel safe on stage, which really enhances the group's performance.
Yeah. So that concludes the Avocalypse live microphone shootout of 2013. The Avocalypse choice of singers' microphone for live performances are the Electro RE410 and the Neumann KMS105.
Thank you so much for watching. For more information about Avocalypse and a more detailed description of the microphone test, visit our homepage at www.avocalypse.com.